do you feel like guilty ever at just sort of like chronicling the fall of so many of these rappers? And do you ever feel like you're sort of like unevenly making these videos? Because let's be real, there's probably a lot of rappers who are also dramatically falling off and buying fake numbers and having this sort of depressing career arc that you maybe aren't drawing attention to.
Yeah. I don't feel guilt necessarily. I do feel like I don't want to do certain types of content in the future. For example, like that Kid Laroi video that I made a couple years ago, that went crazy, and I feel like it was a good investigative video, but I don't think I would make something like that again.
Even as a pal of his, I would agree though. That was interesting shit. That was stuff that somebody was gonna have to bring to the surface sooner or later. And even for me, like when I interviewed him, I mean, it was just like 1,000% different at that time when I was in Australia versus where he's at now. And like, you know, he used to have like when I interviewed him, it was off of this like lyrical ass rap that he was putting on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's been stricken from the internet.
And there was also certain stuff that I had information on that I didn't put in the video at all because a lot of it it's not necessarily hearsay. Like there's proof of it, but I wouldn't want to put that out.
Right. So
types of stuff like that, I try to avoid a little bit more. One thing I try to do is give credit for, like, let's say I talk about, for example, Lil Pump. Lil Pump, I was talking about him consistently when he came out. I was like, this is terrible. So I didn't really pivot, but now I think Lil Pump has been dropping great songs. So I make it a point. You like
his current music?
Yeah, wow, I actually enjoy some of it. So I make it a point to post his stuff and talk about it favorably when I actually enjoy it. So they understand that I'm not just trying to hate.
Right. I'm surprised that you said just because, like, I listened to the new Lil Pump song and video. I think it's called Mosh Pit. And there was just like, you know, it kind of, like, I guess the production has evolved, you know, production in general has evolved. There's like one line on the song though where he says like, my grandma is off prescription pills. And I'm just like, bro, you already did that line.
Yeah.
Like that, like, I want to get behind him. Like, I want to see him grow and like do something interesting musically. And like, I just don't really see it. I see him just sort of retreading the same ground as before.
But you have to give him credit because back then he just used to repeat the same thing the entire song. Now there's like actual structure to some of the writing. Yeah. He's using the same line, but it's like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine's used like the Ray Charles to the bullshit line like 50 times. It's so mind-numbing how much he's reused certain lines that are so simple. I'm like, dude, just get a writer or something. Yeah. And I think Lil Pump, he's experimenting with different sounds. The producer that he's working with right now is moving him in a different direction. Lil Pump can't just come out with like woke music or like trying to mature. So
no, definitely not that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like when you're like literally saying the same bar that was in like your biggest hit, and the only difference is that you said great grandma. I mean, that's just like I think the people want growth, and I think 6ix9ine's a huge example of that. Like, I mean, you've seen the way that people just lost interest in his shit. It's the same shit that he was putting out before he went in.
Worse.
It's worse. It's worse. It's less compelling.
Worse.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just there's no growth, and I think the audience just is gonna need to see growth. 6ix9ine thinking that he was gonna get a career jump start from saying "fuck King Von" is like, bro.
I don't think he was gonna
dummy.
get a career jump start.
Yeah.
I think he's just. I don't know. I think
he's sincerely full of hate, and he sees himself as a fucking gangster. So it's like he wants to do the gangster thing. So he wants his enemy to die, and then he talks shit about him. He did it with PNB. He did it with fucking Vaughn. He did it with everybody. And it's just like, bro, the fans are not gonna like you off of that.
All right, people, we just hit 300,000 subscribers. You know we're trying to hit 400,000 subscribers. So that little red button, tap it, tap in. Appreciate y'all.